Okay, you lot. So today we are looking at the TAYGETA dungeon, right? So this is a dungeon that recently came out in the latest patch like a few days ago, right? And it does provide three different sets. Now the first thing, I am very happy that they finally took out the accuracy and resistance sets out of the first two dungeons. Personally, I wasn't a fan of them, right? So yeah, they put accuracy, resistance, and the new set here into the new TAYGETA dungeon, right? TAYGETA, whatever you want to call it, right? And today we're gonna be talking about a theme on how you can farm it, right? So personally, first of all, I want to say that honestly, unless you are super hyper focused on PvP, I honestly wouldn't recommend farming this dungeon, right? I think the sets from both Nazca and the whatever this one is called dungeons are much better and much more versatile for the rest of the game, whether it's PvE or PvP, right? This one is very strictly PvP, and honestly, unless you are pushing for like the very top ranks, I don't see this dungeon being that useful, right? But nonetheless, if you do decide to farm it, I have tried to play around with a few teams that could work here, and I think I came up with probably the safest team that I could think of, right? This is definitely not like a final team. I'm sure people will find even better teams eventually, right? But for me, this was the team that I found, right? I also wanted to try to use units that are already used or are sort of more free-to-play friendly, right? Not just like full light and dark teams. And this is the best that I came up with, right? So just to quickly showcase the equipment, and I will go into the battle and explain why I use each unit in there, right? So for the equipment, this is serious equipment, nothing special really. The memento doesn't have to be Chloe's memento, it can be any memento. This is just the best one that I have. For stats, she really only needs a lot of HP and speed. For Stein, similar thing, you really don't need much on her. You want a lot of speed and you want her to be slightly tanky. Also, any effect hit that you can get will help out because her first skill does have a very powerful debuff on there. For the Rememento, of course, if you can get this Rememento from the Battle Pass shop, this will be the best one, but if you can't, honestly, a lot of other support Remementos will work as well. For the third unit, we do have Bernice. So with her, you want to make her somewhat tanky, right? She doesn't have to be the fastest, but some speed will help as well. And yeah, for the sets, I'm pretty much just going for a lot of defense on her because her shields scale with defense, plus I have the Battle Pass Rememento, which also scales some extra shield with defense. Again, the Rememento does not have to be this one. You can use any other defense type Rememento. It's really not a requirement. Honestly, for the whole team, you really don't need to have any particular mementos. As long as you have good stats on your units, you will be just fine. And the last unit that I've used is Ivy. Now this one is somewhat interchangeable, right? You can look into using some other support, some other DPS units, right? I've tried out options like Monica. I tried out options like where is she? Yuri, right? Yuri was like a close second. The problem with her was because she has a lot of inbuilt like turn order. As you can see, skill 2 gives her speed, skill 3 gives her an additional turn. What happens then is she usually loses a lot of the buffs that she has from Stein and from Bernice, and that leaves her very vulnerable. So for Monica, she works as well, but naturally, first of all, not a lot of people will have her build, so you may not have skill ups. And second of all, her damage will be much lower than both Ivy and Yuri, right? And for Ivy, what I like about her is, first of all, because the boss has some buffs, her ultimate will be able to strip those buffs and do extra damage. On top of that, plus second skill, she can absorb attack gauge, which will remove a lot of turns from the boss. And lastly, she does have a death prevention passive, which means that she literally is not able to get a one shot, right? So yeah, let's go into the dungeon and I'll explain a bit about it further. Okay, now for the run itself, we are of course gonna go at level 10, and do keep in mind that since this is the same dungeon, essentially this team will work both for the dungeon itself as well as for the story mission there, right? The thing about my team, right, it's not exactly like super perfectly speed tuned. So if you do speed tune your Ivy to move just in between the boss and the arms, for example, you will have even better success rate, right? For me, honestly, I just gave her decent stats and whatever happens, happens, right? And yeah, as you can see, first of all, there is a lot of these sort of like safety points when it comes to nuking. First of all, here it is, Ivy is able to reduce attack gauge, which prevents some attacks from happening, right? She also has an ultimate, which can from time to time save you from a lot of damage by not only doing a lot of damage, but also stripping debuffs that the boss has, right? I try to play around with various units that do have buff strips, for example, Rusin, the light 4-star. Honestly, on manual it would work, right? But on auto I haven't found much success with it, right? And yeah, as you can see, the ultimate strips buffs, does extra damage based on her fixed attack, right? And on top of that, because you are running 3 wind units, eventually you will be breaking the enemy's guard as well, which means that she will have even less chances to attack, right? But yeah, let's finish with Ivy. Second unit that we have is Stein, right? She is not wind element, however, honestly, by now, if you are not using Stein, you are missing out a lot. As you can see, when there's only one DPS unit on the team, she will be able to constantly cycle that unit with her second skill. For example, in here, I believe she will cycle Ivy, and Ivy cuts right in between the boss, right? So yeah, it looks like a very good battery. It's a very great mana cycling machine. Plus her ultimate is gonna increase both your damage and give you a lot of sustain. Also defense buff, which does help with your bernice getting much higher shields, right? So yeah, all around just a perfect support for not only this but a lot of other dungeons, right? Third one is Ciri, right? A lot of different healers would work in this dungeon. However, Ciri is, first of all, she is wind element. She contributes a bit towards guard breaking. Second of all, her heals come from her passive, which means she is not gonna waste any mana on skills. And on top of that, because she is using basic attacks, she is actually generating mana for you, right? So yeah, honestly, Ciri, very safe choice. Everyone gets her for free, so I would recommend using her. And the last pick we have is Bernice. So yeah, she was probably one of the last picks that I did, but honestly, she has been working really well in here. First of all, I'm not a massive fan of her ultimate, right? Like, it does help absorb a hit or two here and there, right? Although that isn't really a problem because Ciri usually would just out heal. But her second skill is what I love about her when it comes to this dungeon. First of all, absolutely massive shield, especially if you combine it with Stein's ultimate. Like, look at this, the boss uses his ultimate, absolutely no damage, right? Second of all, immunity, right? That is such a huge component of this team, right? And the boss has a few nasty debuffs. It does have slowness, it does have effect resistance down, and most importantly, it does have defense break. And because her ultimate cooldown is so long, usually her AI will use the second skill a lot, right? Like, let's look at this again. Like, she's using second skill, she's gonna be using her second skill probably like 70% of the time, as long as her ultimate is not available, right? And that pretty much ensures that you are permanently buffed up with immunity, preventing a lot of the debuffs from landing. I'm not even sure if I got any debuffs in this game, as you can see. Like, I don't think the boss landed a single debuff once the first buff happened, so yeah. Plus, on top of that, she also has a passive which reduces damage, so if you're not using Ivy as a DPS, it can help you survive a bit as well. So yeah, overall, just a good choice for a sort of like a defense slash support pick in here. And yeah, we're approaching the end. Do keep in mind that this is not like a fast team. This is by no means like a super speed team. The runs for with this team, from what I've tested, take around 4 to 5 minutes on average. But the most important thing for me, at least, is that you can do this on full auto, right? Like if you want to go for a manual team, you can of course make much faster teams, probably with units like Ivy, Yuri, and all of that. But for me, when it comes to these stamina dungeons, I'm trying to farm them on auto, and even if it takes a longer time, as long as it's guaranteed wins, I'm more than happy with it. And yeah, as you can see, we have managed to complete TAYGETA. 5 minutes 30, not the worst, right? But yeah, nonetheless, I'm happy to find this team, right? I've tested it out quite a few different options. I sat on it for like 2 hours yesterday trying various different teams, and this is the team that worked out the best for me, keeping in mind like being somewhat free-to-play friendly and also being not too early game, let's say. But yeah, that's about it. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you do have any other different teams that work out and maybe they are faster for you. Feel free to leave it in the comments. I'm sure not only my team, but your team could help the community as well. And yeah, hope you enjoyed, and peace.